And now Joey still tours with Mencia.
Yeah, I ran into Joey. He's the guy that put me in touch with him.
Yeah. Joey's one of my best friends from growing up.
All right, so let's talk about Freddie Soto. A lot of people don't know Freddie Soto. He was a up-and-coming Latino comic, very respected, real deal guy, and he passes away. And I know he had tension with Carlos.
Yeah, I think me and Eleanor were talking, and we really feel like part of what killed Freddie was Mencia.
The aggravation.
And just, here's Freddie, struggling to pay the bills.
Yeah.
And here's Mencia using his bits and his material to continue to get richer and richer and richer. And here's Freddie going, shit, man, I'm just trying to pay the bills. And just the stress of that and the pressure. And what are you going to do? You're going to call him out? What does that accomplish?
And what happened after Freddie died?
Freddie died, and like a week later, Mencia was doing Freddie's bits verbatim on stage at the Improv, and Dee, one of the managers, and Rita, the other manager, in the hallway are in this huge debate and argument, whether to cut his mic or not. And Dee is like, you gotta cut his mic. Like, this is ridiculous. Freddie just died, and he's doing his bits. And Rita was like, he's Carlos Mencia. And of course, this was at the height of, Mind of Mencia.
Yeah.
And she was like, I'm not gonna cut his mic, Dee.
Wow.
And Dee, to this day, me and her talk about it. And she's like, I regret it, Steve. I wish I would have cut his mic. Here's a great story for you since we're on it. Just remember, here's the kind of guy he is. My first week ever to headline, I get booked at the Ontario Improv. And I'm super stoked because it's like, man, real money now. You're getting paid, that bump in pay and this is the real deal, And of course I'm a little nervous because I'm like, I don't know if I have 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I know I can kill for the 15, 20 I've been doing, but so this is a big deal for me.
Yeah.
Mencia shows up, right? And right before I go on stage, he goes, hey, I want to go up, do a few minutes. And I go, absolutely, right? No problem. I walk on stage and I go, ladies and gentlemen, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. Ladies and gentlemen, Carlos Mencia. He walks on stage and does 2 hours. I never go up.
And your name's on the marquee.
And my name's on the marquee. It's my first week to headline. First night to headline. 2 hours. And then he goes, hey, let's get Steve back up here. And I go, dude, I'm not going up. I'm not following 2 hours of you.
Yeah, he did that to me once.
Yeah. It's just amazing. And actually, that's the last conversation. Me and Ari Spears and Mencia were in the parking lot. And I go, dude, there's a way to do it. There's a way to bump people. And he goes, what? Who cares? I'm Carlos Mencia. And I'm like, dude, Chris Rock comes into the Comedy Store, doesn't bump people.
Not for 2 hours.
Not for 2 hours. He comes in on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to work on stuff that he's working on, and he asks to go up. You come in here and bump people for an hour.
So it's very complicated. It's fairly complicated in terms of the way we live our lives and the opportunities we want to have, compromises we have to make in terms of relationships, and then just the pain of not knowing if someone's your friend. I mean, we're all pretty selfish, but I'm glad you talked to me about it because, I distinctly got the feeling when I was talking to him, and I'm not trying to I'm not trying to sandbag him or flank him by talking to other people.
Right.
It's just that I felt that there was something missing from it, and that he's very aware at his ability to charm and tell a story. But I still on some level feel kind of bad that because when I see how hated he is,
I feel horrible for him.
Just as a person, I'm like, how do you fucking carry that burden of that much hate, and what are you going to do? How are you going to change? There's nothing he can do to put that genie back in the bottle.
Nothing. And,
he's going to therapy, but no one admits to stealing.
Yeah, nobody, and it's sad.
That's one thing I've noticed, is that they'll all say, like, maybe it's similar, like Robin, even said, like, my brain works in a certain way, and you're saying that you think that Carlos might have that too, because I just don't know anybody, really, who would sit there. Eleanor claims that he wrote jokes down from people saying them. I don't know.
I've never seen him do that.
Yeah.
His memory is impeccable.
Because he's sober as fuck.
Well, yeah, exactly. He's sober.
Maybe the drinking will help him
start forgetting stuff. But his memory is phenomenal. His intelligence is phenomenal. The guy he's a genius.
Yeah.
I've seen the guy recite things that we saw on Discovery Channel verbatim, and you just go, wow.
So he's always filling it.
He's always,
looking for a way to fit in and to be, like he must not.
But I remember him telling me, he goes, I just want to be known as the greatest comic ever. And I'm like, how sad must he feel now that he's known as the greatest thief comic ever?
Thanks for talking to me, Steve.
Thanks for having me.
Being a reasonable man and in some ways, trying to be fair. I didn't want to sandbag Mencia or take what he said and mash it up with other people's things. And I wasn't trying to make an indictment. I was trying to have a dialogue. So after I talked to Willie, Barcena, and Steve Trevino, I was in the awkward position where I had to contact Carlos again to tell him we needed to do some follow-up. Because I know things now that I didn't know then, and I want you to answer to them specifically. So I texted Carlos, basically saying, look, I got to do some follow-up questions. Why don't we do it on the phone? Because I personally didn't want to have to do it face-to-face. I admit that. I was hoping we could do a phoner. But within minutes, Carlos said, texted me back. He said, I just landed at LAX. I'll come from the airport, and I'll come over and we'll do it. So here it is. Carlos Mencia answering to some of the issues that were provoked by my conversations with Willie, Steve, other comics, and my need to get to the core of this personality.
Let me tell you what's going on. I posted that I was going to talk to you. And then, I may envy your success, but I don't envy the amount of contempt there is out there for you. Sorry.
No, I don't. Why? And, do you think I envy it?
No, I know. But, so what happens is, I came, when we talked first, I was approaching you as a peer, and we were going to discuss, some of the Rogan thing and some of the, the more public accusations about stuff. And I didn't want to rehash any shit.
Sure.
And then all of a sudden I'm getting phone calls, and someone's telling me, talk to the Latino guys, talk to, the guys that knew him, talk to his friends. And I'm like, well, I'm not looking to indict, but I am looking to get at some sense of truth.
Sure.
So, I talked to Trevino.
Yes.
I talked to Barcena.
Yes.
And we just got to address a couple of things.
Let's do it, man.
All right. Now, first off, I got a personal thing that I didn't bring up before, but it came up, numerous times, and I want to know, what you say about it. Now, granted, I'm willing to let you be an asshole. All right. I'm willing to know that you obviously did what you had to do to get where you are, and there is a certain power trip about it. I understand that.
Sure.
Okay. One time I was doing the improv, I was headlining.
Yeah.
And you came and bumped me and did 45, 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Now, and then I left. Because I was like, fuck that, fuck him.
Right.
Okay. Now I see that this is a pattern. That, you bump headliners and you do an hour to 2 hours. Yeah. Now, is this a territorial thing? Are you saying, fuck you, this is, I'm the boss? Be honest.
I'll be honest with you, man. Remember last time we were talking, that's what happened to me. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Eddie Griffin
But he's the one guy.
Nah, man.
For an hour? At the comedy store.
At the comedy store?
Are you telling me there's no territoriality to you saying, fuck you, who's the biggest dick in town?
No, it's my only way of dealing with, it's my only way of dealing with how hateful. You know what I mean?
So you're saying that you do it out of spite?
Yeah. I do.
So what's your beef with me? Why'd you come teach me a lesson?
Well, that's that's just like me being an asshole and me being, you know what I mean, taking it, just, it's one of those things where, especially before, man, it was like, I felt like, especially guys like you know what I mean, who came from that different school. You know what I mean?
You wanted to school me.
Who came to, not school you, as much as like, fuck you.
Okay.
My comedy isn't to be shit on. You know what I mean? Okay, so you do alternative, you do something different.
But I didn't personally shit on you.
Oh, no, you never did.
But you were making an example.
But dude, think about how difficult it is as a human being for me. You know what I mean? You call me up and then you tell me that all these people are saying, no, fuck that. You gotta prove it.
They're not saying that. This is me, everyone I talked to was very diplomatic.